it's so great to have you with us. Thank you so much for joining us. You heard Jamie O'Hara there right at the end sort of saying there's a big issue for Spurs coming into this one. There are injuries. They're not particularly playing very well. Things aren't clicking as people would hope from a Spurs perspective. What do you make of Tottenham right now and how they're shaping up for this game against Liverpool?
Difficult, Natalie. You know, at the moment, I went to the game last Saturday at Bournemouth, and the first half they were so poor. I mean, they were very lucky to come in 2-0 down. They could have been out. They could have been 3 or 4. Bournemouth really were much the better team. And then the last 25 minutes or so, they got a goal back, and it suddenly lifted them, and Bournemouth took a backward step a little bit, and they got the result. But that's how they've been. At Marseille the other night, I watched the game there and on TV. And first half again, it didn't perform. And then when they had to go for it, because they was going to be out the competition, they took the shackles off. They started to attack and played with more freedom, and they got back into the game and won the game in the end. They seem a little bit like that at the moment. They seem to go out, not to lose attitude. Then they get in a situation where it looks like they're going to lose, and then they have a go and they get back in it. But it's a strange one. They're not exciting to watch at the moment, but they're functional. They're getting results, and they're still sort of in the top 4. So yeah, they're doing okay without setting the world alight for sure.
Yeah.
Harry, I was just going to ask you that. I know your teams used to play, and the way the way you see football played. I mean, that game in midweek where Harry Kane was more or less in the centre of midfield. It was like 5-4-1. I'm a bit split as well. You get a manager in who's a winner. He sacrifices the style of football to keep nicking results. I mean, I don't know where you stand on it, but they've let the first goal in, I think, 11 times, and then it's as if he says, Bentancur, you can now run forward. Højbjerg, you're now allowed to run forward. Wing backs, you're allowed to run forward now, but not until he says so.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a strange one, as you say, Dean. It's they're certainly they're not coming out starting games on the front foot as though they're, But you look at the makeup. You look at Kane. It's been Kane, Son, Richarlison when he was fit. They've got enough attacking options there. You think they have a right go at teams, but for whatever reason they haven't. But I think they lack a little bit of someone in midfield to really control the game and, to make that pass and to make things happen. Luka Modric or somebody is, the type that, listen, they're not easy to find, but somebody a little bit special in the middle of the park who can make things, and, number 10 who can make things happen. I think they're short of somebody like that to open the door for them, but at the moment they're still nicking results somehow. So look, while that's happening, I suppose Conte's quite happy.
Harry, do you think now Harry Kane's going to have to put the team on his shoulders? And they got Liverpool coming up.
Yeah,
they're going to have to get him some service because now he hasn't got his partner in crime, Son, there.
Yeah.
He's going to have to. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's a big loss, Sonny. Obviously, Kev, they're going to miss him. I think he's a fantastic player. He's not had a great season by his standards, that's for sure. He got the one hat-trick where he came off the bench, but he's not been quite the same this year for some reason, but he is a great player. They're going to miss him, yeah. And Harry, really, someone's going to have to, the supply line to Harry. Who's going to make them passes? Who's going to open the door and slide him in and give him? But he's going to have to do lots of stuff on his own that he can do. I mean, he's such an all-round player. But yeah, an awful lot more responsibility, even more than ever, on Harry's shoulders now. But it's two teams, as we know, bang out of form, really. I mean, Liverpool got a good result in the week in Champions League. They've had a couple of good Champions League results, but their league form has been very poor. So it's a difficult one to call. It's not normally you come into these games. Liverpool are fantastic and flying, and you come to White Hart Lane, you'd expect them to probably beat Tottenham. But at the moment, I think as Natalie said, I think Liverpool are still favourites, which I find quite hard to, considering their away form. I'd make Tottenham slight favourites still, Although if I had to put my life on it, I could see a draw. That's how I see the game.
Well, you're right. We were all baffled when we were hearing the odds earlier on that Liverpool were favourites. Bear in mind, they haven't won away from home. Tottenham are unbeaten, I think, in 5 of their 6 games at home as well. So it did seem a bit odd that the bookies are favouring Liverpool, but maybe that's injuries that they're taking into account from a Spurs perspective. I just wanted to pick up on something you were saying a little bit earlier on. When Spurs have a fit side, you've got Richarlison in there, you've got Kulusevski, you've got Son, obviously. You could also add in Lucas Moura, I suppose. There are attacking options in that Tottenham side, and we saw them earlier on this season with some of these players in the team, yet they weren't playing this electric forward-thinking team. It still seemed to be very defensive, very pragmatic. Would you be if you were managing this side, you'd be wanting to play more attacking, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I suppose. You've got enough options there to you think you have a right go at teams and really get on the front foot. But everybody's different now. You can't argue with Conte's record over the. He's got an incredible record as a manager, and he sets teams up. I mean, his system really. He's played with 3 at the back, and he's played with wing backs at Juventus, and he went to Chelsea. He went to Chelsea and played with 4 for about 5 or 6 games, and I thought, this is strange because this is not the way he normally plays. He changed the system, played with the wing backs, and they went on and won the title that year. That's he gets the job done. I think he's not going to be bothered about setting you alight and entertain. He's a winner and he wants to win. And at the end of the day, if Tottenham end up, I can't see him winning the title, to be honest. I can't see it beyond Man City, even though Arsenal are flying at the moment as well. But, if he's up there in the top 4 and has a good Champions League, then he's done his job again. That's how he probably sees it.
Harry, with the exception of Leicester, who conceded possession every week and won the title, do you think Spurs can grind a major trophy out the way they play him, conceding possession against teams who are not as good as them? And just hitting them, nicking counter-attacks on teams?
Well, at the moment, it looks like, it's hard to think that, but I do think they can. I do think I'll be disappointed if Tottenham didn't win something this year, whether it's the League Cup, the FA Cup, or whatever. They've got a strong squad there, and I would expect them to have some silverware this year under Conte. But I don't think he's going to change the way he plays and the way he is. He's going to keep grinding out results, and while they're winning, who can argue? I suppose really, even though it's not getting you off the edge of your seat to watch them, they're still producing results. But Son's going to be a big miss for them as well now. They're going to miss him, I think. So looking forward to the game at the weekend. I think it'd be an interesting game. Liverpool need to get a league result under their belt again and go on a run. I mean, top 4 now is the best they can hope for in the Premier League. They're not going to win the title, that's for sure.
Yeah. Harry, thanks so much for being with us today. Appreciate you.
Pleasure.
Nice
Harry. Thank you, mate.
Brentford need a result, Natalie.
Oh, you're telling me we need a result. And we're going to these 2 guys' former club, Nottingham Forest, tomorrow. So I'm a little bit worried about that.
Harry, before you go, me and Kevin have gone a bit nervous. I've just seen Martin Keown walk into the building, the rash. And he's obviously heard that me and Kev are on the radio, and he's man-marking us in the building. he's lingering outside.
He's lurking every now and then.
Kevin will bash him about a bit. I'll run. You can run up the side of him, Dino. No problem.
I can't get away from him. I thought we'd got rid of him.
No, he's here. He'll be
He wants Dino.
You might get away from him, but he won't get a word in with Simon Jordan. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, he'll be with them next, certainly. Harry, thanks again.
Thanks. Cheers, Harry.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.